Everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to go ahead and do a full face routine using other YouTubers' favorite products. Now this video has been on my list for several months, probably since at least September, if not before. It took me a while to get all the products. Some of these products I've used before, like I've used them in the past and still continue to use them. Some of them I used them before and it's just reusing them now for this video, and then some of them are new products that I haven't used before, so this is going to be a first impression. So let's go ahead and get started. First with my nails, I'm wearing Sally Hansen Insta-Dry, and this is in the shade Buff and Tumble. This was a recommendation from Stephanie Marie. I've used these Insta-Dries before, like I have several of their polishes. I haven't used them in several years. This color in particular is one of her favorites. I don't know if they changed the formula, but this was very runny, and it flooded all my cuticles, and I had to, clean all my cuticles. So I don't know if they changed the formula or not, but I did not really love this polish. I have a glitter topper on top, but I'll insert a picture of what this polish looks like on its own. Okay, and then next is actually my hair. So I used these products, Not Your Mother's Curl Talk, the Defining Cream, and the Sculpting Gel. These were a recommendation from Penny Tover on YouTube. Her name used to be Curly Penny, and she used to do all like curly hair routines and product reviews. She's since kind of changed her channel, and she changed her name to Penny Tover. She still occasionally does, curl stuff, but these I got last summer based off of her recommendation. She loved these, the Not Your Mother's curl products, and I really like them. My hair is still drying right now, but when I do a check-in later, you'll see how my hair looks fully dry. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the face. So for primer, I have this Revlon Photo Ready Primer, recommended by the Taylor, who's now Taylor Wynn. She's been using this and raving about this product for years. I've been using this for a couple months. I'm not sure how I feel about it. First of all, I don't like the packaging. This glass bottle, it's nice that it's glass bottle, but it doesn't fit in my acrylic containers, so it has to sit on top, which I don't like. I don't like clutter. And also, I hate this packaging. This pump always gets clogged up. The product dries inside of it, and then every time I go to use it, I have to push really hard, and then a big blob just like squirts out. So I used this yesterday, so it might, see, that came out a lot easier than normal because I used it yesterday, so that product isn't as hard. But you can see like right there where it's starting to form a little blob of hardness. Okay, so for foundation, this is a new foundation that I've never tried. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation. This was a recommendation several years ago from Shan XO. She was always raving about this foundation. I wanted to try this a long time ago, but there were so many mixed reviews on this foundation that I never ended up getting it. Oh, that's interesting. I forgot. It's like a little paddle. Hope this is the right color. Yeah, this is very, this smells terrible. Okay, well, here goes. This smells like paint, to be honest. I'm going to use my little mirror down there. This smells terrible. I hope the fragrance, the chemicals in here don't break me out. But let's go ahead and see what happens. Okay, so one layer, it's pretty sheer coverage. Looks pretty good on the skin. Oh, and incidentally, my sponge is actually a recommendation as well, which I didn't realize when I was pulling my products together. This was a recommendation from Carrie. So Carrie, she's here on YouTube, but also on Instagram. This is the Shop Missy sponge, the Wonder Pawpaw sponge, something like that. I'm gonna go ahead and do another thin layer. So that was 2 thin layers, and I would definitely say this is not full coverage. Like, you can still see my spots coming through. Let me see how it looks on the skin. I think it looks pretty good on the skin. I don't really see any cakiness anywhere. Okay, so I will be doing a check-in later, probably like halfway through the day, and then probably at the end of the night as well, so we can see how everything held up. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to concealer. Now, concealer I used to use a few years ago. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. This was a recommendation several years ago from Nikia Joy. She was always raving about this concealer, and I bought this, a few years ago because of her. And I used it. I remember liking it back then. I used it, and then I started using, this was back when I only really kept one concealer at a time, 1 or 2 concealers. And then I started using other concealers, and before you knew it, I had all these concealers, and I just never rebought this one. Okay, so that looks pretty good, I think. I do remember liking it. It doesn't seem full coverage, but it went on nicely. It doesn't look drying. Of course, I'm gonna have to see how it wears throughout the day because I don't really remember. I mean, I remember that I did like it, so it must not, look terrible. Okay, I think I'm going to, let's see if I can build it up just a little bit in my inner corner where I have all the purple. Okay, so I think the color is pretty good too. I remember when I first was using this a couple years ago, I had a hard time finding the lightest shade. I think the lightest shade was always sold out, which is, I'm guessing, something fair. Yeah, fair 15. I'm gonna use my little concealer brush, see if I need to pinpoint anywhere. Okay, so that is the base so far. Okay. All right, so powder. This is Rimmel, and this is the Stay Matte powder. Allie Glines has been raving about this powder for years. This is her favorite powder. In fact, her powder is like the whole lid is like busted, and she keeps this in a Ziploc bag. Like, that's how much she loves this product. She doesn't want to let any of it go to waste. So let's see, what am I going to use? I'm going to use this brush. I don't know how much I need, if I should use a dense brush or a fluffy brush. I think I'm going to use a dense brush. And this is in the shade Translucent, by the way. Yeah, Transparent 01. All right, you guys, that is the base. Let's see. So far, I think everything is looking pretty good. My chin, excuse me, my chin area is a little bit dry, but honestly, I think that's my fault because I've been using sulfur on these old breakouts, trying to dry them out even further, and so I probably went a little overboard. My chin's a little bit dry, but overall, I think the base looks pretty good. All right, so for under eyes, I've been using the Hourglass, what is it called? Veil Translucent Setting Powder. This was off the recommendation of Samantha Ravindal. She's, ever since this product came out, I want to say it's been like 2 years now, she's been raving nonstop about this product. She loves this powder. And last year I picked it up at Sephora, the little mini size, and I use it only under my eyes. I'm gonna use this, I think it's a precision foundation brush, but I use it to set my under eyes. I really like this powder. I think it's really nice. It's soft. It's very finely milled, and it sets my under eyes really nicely and isn't dry and cakey. I have a really hard time with setting powders under my eyes because I have old lady eyes and they get, dry and crepey looking. So I really have to use like a luminous type powder. And I really like this setting powder. It sets everything nicely. It looks, flawless. Doesn't get dry and crepey throughout the day. As long as I prime my under eyes first, like I use a really good oil under my eyes, then my under eyes don't look, bad. Okay, so that's the base so far. All right, so for face products, I actually end up having all the balm products. I didn't plan that. It's just kind of how it worked out. So for bronzer, I'm going to be using Take Home the Bronze, which I've never used before. And this is in the shade Oliver. Isn't this packaging so cute? But this is a recommendation off of Andrea. I can never say her last name. I have my little paper here. Andrea Matilano. I don't know. By the way, I'm going to link everyone's channels down below. So she was talking about this, oh man, I think since the year before maybe. I'm going to use this bronzer brush. And then I never got it. Never tried it because I was using other bronzers. And then I was talking to So Carrie on Instagram. She's here on YouTube, but she's also on Instagram. That's where I was talking to her. And she also recommended that I give this bronzer a try. So this is off of both of their recommendations. Okay, I'm going to use my hair. Actually, that looks really nice. And the whole point of these bronzers is that it's anti-orange. So it's supposed to be like the perfect bronzer without being orange, without pulling muddy. Okay, what do you guys think? That looks really nice, actually. There's no streaks. Okay, I think that looks really nice. Okay, so for blush, I actually tried to get a different blush. I tried to get, based off of Andrea's recommendation as well, I tried to get the e.l.f., what are they called? Like the e.l.f. baked blushes from a few years ago. She's raved about those for years, but I could not find them anywhere. I guess they're discontinued. They're completely out of stock everywhere. I even went on Amazon and they were like $20. I'm not paying $20 for an e.l.f. blush. So I ended up getting a balm product. Since I was buying this, I bought this. I waited till Black Friday and I bought this when they had their sale. And I decided to go ahead and pick up a blush as well because I remember years ago, Emily Noel had always been raving about the balm products and their blushes. I tried to get a different blush, but by the time I went on for Black Friday, it was always already sold out. So this one is Hot Mama. First of all, their packaging is so cute, you guys. So cute. Okay, so, I don't know, this might be too pinky, shimmery for my taste, but let's go ahead and give it a try. And I ended up getting one of their, oh, that's pigmented. I ended up getting one of their minis, just, because I don't need one of their full-size blushes. Don't need that much blush, never going to go through it all. Okay, look at that. That's pigmented. Okay, let me see if I can blend that out a bit. Okay, yeah, that blended right out. Okay. On camera, it's looking a little intense. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so these balm blushes are very pigmented. You have to be very careful, just a little bit. Okay, there we go. Now for highlighter is another balm product, and this is also based off of Emily Noel's recommendation from years and years and years ago. So I have Mary Luminizer, which is the highlighter. I have it in my little palette because I depotted it. So years ago, like everyone's been raving about Mary Luminizer for years, but years ago, Emily Noel was talking about, they had like a trio of, you know, a bronzer, a blush, well, more like a blush topper, and then the highlighter. So I ended up getting the trio off of Haute Look years ago, and then I ended up depotting them because I didn't like the blush, and I didn't like the blush topper, but I ended up keeping the blush topper anyways, and then the highlighter. So I'm going to be honest, I don't really understand the hype behind this highlighter. Everyone has been raving about this highlighter for years, and honestly, I just don't really understand it. Not a bad highlighter, it's not something I ever reach for, which is why it's in this palette. Alright, so this is the base so far. I think everything looks nice. Alright, so for setting spray, this actually I'm pretty excited about. This is the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. People have been raving about this on YouTube since it came out, like nonstop, everyone. I've never purchased a Morphe product before. The only product I've ever tried from them was that eyeshadow palette that came in the BoxyCharm, and it was terrible. So that's part of the reason why I never went to buy this, because I don't support Morphe. I don't agree with the whole, you know, pimping your code. But when I was doing this video, I really needed a new setting spray for the video, and I decided to just get it because everyone's been raving about this. In particular, Jeffree Star is the reason I purchased this, because he's always using this and loves it. So now I hear the mister is supposed to be really good. So let's see. Oh. Okay, no, I don't like that mister. That just squirted right out. However, I don't see splatters anywhere, so I guess it did all go on my face. And you know what? I don't see any spots of setting spray on my face either, so let me see. It just felt weird going on. Let me see. Okay, yeah, so it seems to shoot out in two sprays. Like it goes up and then it goes down. Let me do one more little spritz on my face. Okay, that feels better. Okay, maybe the first spritz needed to just... Okay, I don't like the smell on this. But everyone seems to love it, so I will see how it holds out on the skin. I don't see any spots, like little dots of setting spray on my face at all. Alright, let's see, what am I going to do next? I'm going to do eyes. Okay, so for eye primer, I'm pretty excited about this. I've been needing a new eye primer, and I was talking to Lindsay from Lady in the Truck, and she recommended that I get the Ulta Beauty Matte Eye Primer. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a try. I don't know how much I need, so I'm going to use just a little bit. It's tinted, and it says oil-free, fragrance-free, paraben-free. Oh, that feels really smooth. Doesn't feel greasy at all. The thing I really didn't like about the Milani primer is that it was really greasy and it just didn't really do anything. Okay, that actually looks kind of smoothing on the eyes. I'm surprised. Usually eye primer dries out my eyes once I put the primer on. My eyes, you know, get kind of dry and crepey looking because I do have, you know, like I said, old lady eyes. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, so for eyeshadow, I'm using the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. This was hyped up by everyone, and I was never going to buy it. And then Jamie Page, this was like the year before, was always raving about this palette. It was her favorite palette. She loved this palette. And then she did a video. She used to do these videos all the time, but she hasn't done them in a long time, where she would take one palette and she would do an entire full face with the palette. Bronzer, contour, blush, highlighter, eyeshadow, everything she would do with this palette. Not that I, plan on using this for my full face, but when she did that video, it just put me over the edge and I decided to finally get it. So I got it last year for Black Friday. And you guys, it's such a nice palette. It's a really, really nice palette. The quality is amazing. The colors are really nice. Everything blends, easily. So I'm going to go ahead. I think I'm going to do, I don't know, more of like a neutral look today. Let's see. I'm using brushes that I'm testing. Like I think I'm going to be decluttering them. So I'm using brushes that I might be decluttering, including this one. I think I'm going to go in with Riff, which is this really nice tan brown. Now this palette is really good, you guys. It's a really nice everyday palette, but it also has pops of color like these blues and teals down here and the magentas. Okay, that actually looks really smooth over that primer. For the outer V, I'm going to just go in with The Good Is Gone, the dark brown. Really don't like this brush. Alright, for the bottom lash line, I'm going to go in with just a combination of Riff and Good Is Gone, and then a little bit of the Blaze. Alright, for the inner corner, the only thing I don't like about this palette is that there's not like a champagne-y inner corner color. There is this matte breakaway, which is a little bit too dark for my taste. Oh, you know what? Let me go in with Mary Luminizer instead. Alrighty. Okay, so I'm going to do liner and my brows off camera, but I want to show you. I'm going to be using Urban Decay 24/7 in the shade Demolition. This was a recommendation from my friend Julie from Instagram, but I'll leave her Instagram down below. And then for brows, I'm going to be doing my soap brows, which was a recommendation off of Hannah Preston, I think her name is. She always had fluffy brows, and then when I learned that it was from soap brows, that's when I started doing them. So I'm going to go off camera and I'll be right back. Guys, I'm back. Okay, so that is the liner. I don't always wear liner, but when I do really enjoy these Urban Decay liners. They're very smooth. They glide on nicely. They have nice longevity, and they're just really nice. And these were a recommendation from my friend Julie. We were talking on Instagram one day, and she told me how much she loves these. And then the brows, I just really like the soap brows, just fluffing them up. Okay, so for mascara, I'm using the Essence Volume Stylist Lash Extension Mascara. This was a recommendation from Jessica Braun. She's been raving about this recently, really loves it. Okay, so that's an interesting looking wand. I've never used this mascara before. This has actually been sitting in my unopened mascaras for several months. I actually bought this initially off of her recommendation before I even, decided I was going to do this video. Okay, so. Now I go through phases where I don't do bottom mascara and then I do bottom mascara. Right now I'm kind of in the phase where I don't use bottom mascara, so I'm not gonna put this on my bottom lashes. Okay, wow. That's a really big difference. What do you guys think? They're really dark, they're lifted, they're separated. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side. Okay, this side looks even better because I have less product on this side and it doesn't look as clumpy. They look really full. I never do 2 coats of mascara, but I just want to see what happens. Okay, now this side got a little crispy looking, so let's see. Kind of even, I guess. Okay, so this side looks way better than this side. I don't know if it's just because there's less product, but this one just looks more wispy, and this one looks more like, I don't know, clumpy and crunchy. But we'll see how they hold. I really like this eye, so next time I use it, I'll be sure to just wipe off more mascara. So, all right, you guys, let's move on to lips. So lips, for lipstick, I'm using the CoverGirl Melting Pout Matte. This was a recommendation from Crystal K Beauty. I've only been watching her channel for a few months, but in those few months, she's talked about this product multiple times. So in this color in particular, Current Nude. So when I went to pick this up, I don't know if this is going to be too nude for you guys. I wanted to get, oh look, it matches my nail polish, look at that. I almost got a different shade, like a couple shades darker, but she's talked about this shade in particular, so went ahead and got it. I really hope it's not too nude for my liking. Okay, it's a liquid lipstick and it is matte, which I don't like. So I did bring a gloss just in case. I didn't know how drying this was going to be. The color, I don't know, you guys. It's a little bit brown for my liking. I don't think it's too nude. I think it's just a little bit brown. I would prefer it to be a little bit more on the mauve side. But the formula feels nice. It doesn't feel tight. I mean, it is matte, so it does dry down. But it doesn't feel, like it doesn't feel drying. And it's not sticky at all. It's already dried down pretty well. Okay, so I'm going to put a gloss on top. This is ColourPop Ultra Glossy. And this is Fairy Floss. And this is based off of Kathleen Lights. She's, years ago raved about this gloss. I like this gloss. I really don't like the wand. I wish it was just like a doe foot, but. All right, guys, so that is the finished look. I will check in a little bit later, like halfway through the day, to see how things are how things wear, and then I will check in at the end of the day. Hey guys, I'm back. So it's been a few hours, and so far everything's holding up really nicely. The powder has kept me pretty matte. Looks like I'm starting to get a little bit oily on my chin. But other than that, I think everything still looks pretty nice. Nothing's breaking down so far. This is what my hair looks like, completely dry. Really nice. I do really enjoy these Not Your Mother curl products. Okay, so I will be back. And the eyeshadow still looks really nice. Everything's holding up. There's no creases so far. So I will be back later tonight to show you how everything held up. Bye-bye. So I want to go ahead and do a final update on the look today. I think everything actually has held up really nicely. My chin is a little bit shinier than I would like. Normally, on a regular basis, I would, blot halfway through the day. But for the purpose of this video, I didn't do that. So it is, like, see right there, it is shinier than I would like, but I think everything overall has held up really nicely. I think the powder looks nice. The foundation still looks really nice. The concealer, I know I've used this before, and I liked it before, but I don't like it as much as I remember. It's nice. I think it looks nice. It looks good. There's no cakiness, no dry crepiness. It's just not as full coverage as I would like. This eye primer, I really like this eye primer. My eyelids, there's no creasing at all. The outer V has faded a little bit, but it's still hanging in there, which is more than any other primer I've ever used. And what I really love is that my eyelids are not dry. With most primers that I try, they dry out my eyes, and I think this looks really good. And I will continue to use this and probably repurchase it again. The mascara, I really like this mascara. I don't know that it's really coming across on camera, but when I looked in the mirror, I really like it. They just look full and fluttery. Really, really nice. No flakiness, so I really like this mascara. I will keep using this. The Hourglass powder, I've been using this for a few months, and I really like it. I think it looks really good under the eyes. No creasing. Still looks soft and not dry looking at all. It's really nice. I like that. This powder, like I said, I think it looks really nice. Not quite as mattifying as I would like, but you know, I have somewhat oily skin, so I would normally blot anyways, so I didn't for the purpose of this video. The foundation, I think the foundation actually looks really nice. I'm quite surprised. There was a lot of bad reviews about this, a lot of really good reviews, but a lot of bad reviews, and honestly, I'm pleasantly surprised. I think it looks nice. It's broken, it hasn't really broken down, it's just, you know, faded away in certain areas, like around my nose a little bit, but in a nice way, not in a, you know, bad way. Bronzer, I think, is really nice. It's not patchy, there's no shimmers in here, so I really appreciate that. I think it looks nice. It's still hanging on a little bit. Same with the blush. The blush is pretty pigmented still. Like it. I'll continue to use it. Highlighter, you know, I've used it before, and I'm just not overly wowed with the highlighter. The only thing that I really don't love is the lipstick, and that's simply because of the shade. I wish I hadn't gone with the one that was a couple shades darker, but I have so many of those like mauvey pinks. I wanted to try something different, and this was a color that Crystal K specifically likes. It was not long lasting at all, so it's definitely not like a long lasting liquid lip. It wore off pretty quickly. I don't know if that's because of the lip gloss that I put on top of it, but I didn't really love this, and I wouldn't really reach for this over anything else. Everything else are products that, you know, I've already tried before. I really love this Urban Decay. The setting spray, I like the setting spray. I think it's nice. It's held up nicely. I don't know that my skin is necessarily... I'm gonna have to try this with other foundations that I know how they wear to see if my makeup lasts any longer than it did today. Today I don't really know because I've never worn this before. And this primer, I don't love it, but I don't dislike it. I've been using this for a couple months now, and I don't really feel one way or another about it. Anyways, that was everything, guys. Hope you guys liked this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.